Hello everybody, I'm going to be making a very quick guide on what perks and what skills you should be running as a Demigod wizard. So getting right into it, I'm just going to go over what I use and then I'll talk about these and why I don't use them. I start off usually with either Arcane Mastery or Sage. Sage just gives you that knowledge bonus, so you'll be able to cast it on 10 spell earlier, and it's really useful. For example, in higher tier kits, I'm at 46 now, taking off Sage, I'm losing 5 knowledge points, so it's basically like getting a free gear point. Moving on to Arcane Mastery, this lets you basically insta-cast your invis and missiles, which is sort of the more panicky button type spells in the game. If you're ever being chased by a fight or something, you can pop an invis. If you're ever engaging, you want to pop an invis. What that helps you is it helps you to disengage faster and also engage faster, meaning that you have the surprise on the enemy and they're going to be less prepared for your push. Moving on, I also play Fire Mastery. Fire Mastery is really good for team fights. The anti-heal from it alone is worth the spell, but also the 5% damage bonus is really nice. You really want to be playing this spell because your zaps, your explosions, your fireballs, whatever kind of fire spells you use are really going to be getting a lot more value, and the anti-heal is super noticeable. Following that, I'm going to be playing Ice Shield. Ice Shield is really nice for melee targets when they're sticking on you. Usually whenever I'm in a higher tier kit, I have around 140 to 150 HP, and I'll be at 317 move speed to 320 move speed, anywhere in that area, like from 310 on. And the Ice Shield, not only is it going to give me a boost in my armor rating, which is minimal, but it still helps, it's also going to reduce their movement speed by 20%. So with my extra move speed, I'm going to gap them extremely hard if they hit me once, and I'll be able to pretty much secure an escape and a getaway without being able to be chased by a rogue or a fighter using sprint or a barbarian using rage, which is really useful. Now I play 10 spell. 10 spell is really nice because you just get all of the utility, all of the damage, and personally I don't see much value in these skills, which I'll go over later. Now talking about perks that I don't use, Reactive Shield. Reactive Shield's okay, but it's really minimal. You're not really going to notice that much of a damage reduction, and apart from that, if you're getting hit first by, for example, a ranger, which is pretty much the only case which Reactive Shield is going to be really worth it, it only procs on the second hit, right? So you're getting hit once, which is doing full damage, then the shield pops up, and then you're getting hit again. And in most of those scenarios in higher team fights, that second hit that you're going to take is either going to kill you or it's going to bring you close enough to where the 10 damage that you would have taken from the shield isn't going to matter. Moving on to Arcane Feedback. This spell is basically just like a worse Arcane Mastery. All it's giving you is 1% spellcasting speed and 1% magic damage bonus for 7 seconds, and it only stacks up to 5 times. So it is literally just a worse Arcane Mastery. Arcane Mastery just gives you a flat 5% always, and it reduces the time of your arcane spells to be casted by 0.5 seconds flat. So it's basically giving you the damage bonus from that, and the flat percent, like the flat 0.5 seconds, is faster than the 5% that you would get from Arcane Feedback. Moving on to Mana Surge. Now, it depends. You can play Mana Surge earlier on, but like I have 50% magic power bonus with this kit, and I don't really need to go above that. Anything is kind of going overkill, and my spells are going to do enough damage. My team is going to do their part enough to where I really don't need that extra 10%. One thing to note with this perk is there is a soft cap, right? So the higher magic power you have, the more it kind of curves out and the less you'll actually get from it. But this perk just adds a flat percentage of 10% to that. So whatever you're at, you can go over certain soft caps by using that perk. Moving on to Melt. In most of the situations where you would use Melt and you're using that physical damage reduction for 5 seconds on a target, you're going to be killing them anyways. Most physical damage reduction classes are already really weak to magic, so the only thing that you're doing here is ideally you would like set up a fight with it, right? But even then, it's not really worth using, just considering the fact that by the time you've zapped them twice and hit them with a fireball or something, they're already going to be either low enough or dead. So this perk is basically useless. Going on to Quick Chant. Quick Chant, you're basically giving up a spell slot for what now is, you know, relatively high regardless, because wizards now with the gear changes benefit really highly from having certain pieces. We get high knowledge super easily, and we get super high spell casting speed very easily now. So that 10% isn't really doing you a lot. Plus you have haste, which gives that to you anyways. and you're already reaching like the 100% spell casting speed sort of goal, I guess, if you want to call it that. So there's not really a use for the spell, in my opinion. It's a little overkill, and the other ones here trump that by quite a bit. Now moving on to skills. We have Arcane Shield. Arcane Shield is okay. I mean, if you're doing like a melee build or Ignite build, it can be useful. The thing is, whenever you do Ignite or, you know, you try and do like the whole Crystal Ball, Rondell, Dagger type combo, you're literally taking a wizard, which is supposed to be a spacing, kiting, DPS class, and you're taking away the DPS because you're never going to do as much damage with Ignite as you would with like a Fireball or a Zap. You're taking away the space that you create for yourself to be able to kite backwards by putting yourself in front of a melee target, and you'll never be able to outtrade. Arcane Shield lets you kind of do that, but even then, it's 20 damage. And most fighters are hitting for like 130 headshots. In 2 hits, you are dead regardless. So it's really not worth going with Arcane Shield, even if you think, oh, maybe I can make this worth. In my opinion, the best way to play Wizard is casting, keeping your space, keeping your distance, and just sort of pacing and setting up for your teammates. Moving on to Intense Focus. This is very popular among some Wizards. I personally don't run it just because, I mean, I don't know, you're giving up 5 spells to be able to just cast 1 spell instantly every, what is it, like 12 seconds? So I don't really see the worth in that. Like, sure, oh, maybe you get the element of surprise and you hit a chain on the enemy. But after that, you still need to cast another chain, and they nerfed it to the point where this really lost its sort of panache, and it doesn't do as much as people think it does. And finally, Meditation is probably the most memed on spell in the Wizard community. This is basically just a campfire. Spend 20 gold, buy yourself a campfire, and do not use Meditation. It is a worthless skill. You're never going to be getting any value out of this that you couldn't just get by spending 20 gold on a campfire. It's way more worth running 10 spell and the utility that you get and the damage that you get from running 10 spell because of the extra damage spells and utility spells. Thanks for watching. I hope this guide was helpful to you, and have a nice day.